Hey folks, Jonathan here. I wanted to do a little video on explaining a few things about the one-day rat rod build, where we started, where we're at, what we're doing, change-wise, and we'll let everybody know what the next car is going to be, what our next plan is. But first of all, got a lot to cover here, and I'll try to cover it quick. We are going to change the name of the one-day rat rod build to the one-day hot rod build, and it seems like a lot of people are totally against rat rodders, and it's just one of them weird situations that the rat rodders don't like it because we're not really building rat rods. We're building hot rods, I guess. So one-day hot rod build is what it is from now on. I'm hoping that hot rod will cover the whole area because, you know, the things that we built, you know, maybe one of them, the old 62 Willys, could have been considered a rat rod maybe, and the other ones are, I don't know, hot rods. You know, there's just so many classes that you know, people put them in, and then they sort of stick with their classes like traditional hot rods. You know, they get mad if anybody puts anything newer than a 1960 part on an old car or something like that. So I don't know. You know, it's one of them deals. I just want everybody to get along. And so anyway, one-day hot rod build from now on. That's what, you know, it'll be. But I wanted to do a little bit of the history because, you know, everybody hasn't watched the old videos, and I wanted to explain what we do, why we do it, how we do it. This all started out sort of as a con. And when I say as a con, you know, most of you know I grew up in West Virginia and I grew up poor. And we never had what people do down here. We didn't grill out. We didn't have pig pickings, you know, where everybody gets together and eats pig and stuff. But I wanted to get my friends together. And the thing is, you know, most all of my friends are like me. They all work hard. And, you know, to come to a barbecue or to come to what we used to do in West Virginia was a weenie roast. You know, that's all we could afford. So we just throw a bunch of wood on the fire and, you know, everybody roast hot dogs. But I enjoyed that when I was young, and I wanted to get all of my friends together. And you know, that's one of the things in life that people pass up. They just, you know somebody, but you don't get to spend much time with them or anything like that. And so I decided to do the first rat rod build. I had the body, it was sitting on the ground. I'm going to show a few pictures of the truck, what it originally was. I just decided that I wanted to get everybody together, and we was going to try to do something that I'd never seen anybody do, and that was build a vehicle in one day to where we could take it out and, you know, put it on the road and drive it. And that's what we done. Now, when that was finished, everybody had a good time. Well, you know, I supplied food for everybody and enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. I had friends show up I hadn't seen in 4 years, and you know, that was the point of the whole thing, so it worked out really well. But the thing is I had gotten contacted by, you know, 2 or 3 people, hey, when are you going to do another one? Well, I felt bad about, you know, having people here working on a truck for me, or a vehicle for me, or rat rod, hot rod, whatever you want to call it. And so I thought about it a while, and I said, hey, look, let's do this. $100 a piece. We put the money in. All that money, every dime of it, we was going to give it to Shriners at first. I like Shriners. I just think the Shriners sort of may have looked down on a rat rod build, and you know, they probably thought it was a bunch of hoodlums coming together to, anyway, maybe it is, you know, maybe we are hoodlums, but you know, we're good hoodlums. So. Anyway, so I got a hold of BACA, Bikers Against Child Abuse, and it's a really good organization. I mean, you can put BACA in YouTube, and I'll guarantee you'll come up with stories and stuff that they've done. They have no employees. All the stuff's voluntary. You know, the guys even put their own fuel in their bikes and stuff. I mean, it's not, they don't use any of this money for anything but for the kids, for counseling and stuff. And that's something I really wanted because, you know, I worked for a nonprofit at one time, or I sort of contracted for one. You know, I was a magazine editor for a historical magazine, and I got paid pretty well. So I know that just because it was a nonprofit organization don't mean there's people not making money. You know, it's a good way to cover up money, basically, to be honest with you. and then, you know, nonprofit, the tax situation, you know, there's a lot more to it, and you know, I hate to think that people are that way, but there's, you know, it's a rough world out there. But so I wanted the money to go to somewhere that was decent. I wouldn't have to worry about, you know, it not going to where it needed to go to. So we donate 100% and to Baca. Now the rules for this build are, you don't have to put $100 in. You can, you know, the people that can come build. They can come watch. We've got a lot of people that just come watch, come point, yell, scream, you know, tell us we're doing it wrong, whatever. It don't matter. But to be in the contest, you know, I like for the people to, you know, put the $100 in and also work on it all day, because I didn't want somebody coming in for 20 minutes, putting $100 in and then winning it, and then, you know, it would look bad for the guys that really worked hard on it. Now, I tried to keep it to where one of the builders would win the vehicle. So anyway, you know, I had a few contact me when we're going to do another one, and so I decided, well, let's do it this way, and I told them about it, and they said, you know, hey, you know, whether you give the vehicle away or not, we'll put $100 in just to do it, because it, I mean, it may not look like it on camera, but you know, the camaraderie, you know, the friendship, and you know, there's a lot of joking going on and stuff like that, and the people just they enjoy it. And if you hear a noise up there, my pet squirrel. But anyway, yeah, he's still around. He ain't never left. But you know, we really enjoy doing it, and you know, it's a good thing. And when you can do as much work as we do in one day, and actually see, you know, your accomplishment from the time you start on it, because we don't touch the vehicles before we start on them. We don't even clean them out. You know, I get all the parts ready. I build that thing 150 times in my head. I don't write anything down. I just keep it all in my head, and I break it down into systems. You know, when you brake system, steering system, you know, and just keep up with it, and you know, memorize what parts you bought and what you haven't. So you know, it's not that hard to do. It really ain't. And just know that you've got every piece you need, because if you're missing a fitting and you don't, you know, you can't get it, then that ruins the whole build. So anyway, the second build was the 60 Ford. Went and pulled it out of the woods, and you'll see that on this video where it was sitting. And that was a special truck to me, because Bobby is the one that we done the service truck for. That was his dad's truck, and Bobby drove that truck when he was in high school, and his dad had passed away right before the first rat rod building. He would have been here. I mean, there's no doubt he would have been here, because he was a rat rodder long before we was. You know, he was building, he did it out of necessity. You know, I got this truck, you know, old Ford truck, and here's a Cadillac motor, throw it in there and so I can drive to work. And it didn't matter to him, you know, whatever he had, he put in it. And you know, I bought a lot of his cars over the years, and you know, even after he passed away, and you know, it's still funny to me to look at them, you know, what motor mounts are in them, because none of them had the motors that was supposed to be in them, and kind of funny. But squirrel. Anyway, so if he jumps down on me, don't be surprised. But anyway, the 60 Ford went really well. We put the Perkins in it, and this video is also going to be an update on all these, so you know where they went, what they're doing. Okay, the guy that won that, he gave it to his son. His son was having some trouble driving a stick shift, so it ended up with a 4.6 Ford. Like the Triton motor, I guess, but I mean it's the Ford engine, and a automatic. And I actually supplied that for him, and we did a deal, and I got the Perkins back, so I've still got that Perkins to put into something else. And we may do that for it. I've got a 3-speed to go behind it, and I got a 4-speed to go behind it. But I like them little engines. I think once I get this one tuned right, and it's 55, and I think everybody will see that they're good little engines. But anyway, so he's got it all together, and very close to being totally finished with it. And he changed the rear, lowered it down. I mean, he's done a lot of work to it, a whole lot of work to it. So it don't look bad. It's a really nice truck. So hopefully sometime soon I can get some pictures or some video of that. And now as for the third build was the 62 Willys. That build was my favorite personally, and the Willys came out really well. We took a 62 Willys Jeep truck that I pulled out of the woods and been sitting for 30 years or so, and we actually stripped that thing down to nothing but cab, frame, and rear springs, and we built that truck back using the 39 Ford front end, straight axle, moved it 18 inches forward, the big block 366 truck motor, the 350 turbo automatic transmission, and 8.8 Ford rear end. Now, built that entire thing in one day, put it on the road. Now, the guy that won it, Ricky Johnson, really turned out great. He chopped the top, put some different wheels, tires on it, did a lot of interior work, exterior work, painted it, flat black. I mean, it wasn't not a great paint job, but I mean a rat rod paint job. Exactly what he wanted, and getting thunder now. But so anyway, it turned out really well. He actually took it to a local car show and won first place for the rat rod class, and he drives it, and worked really well. He even used the original headers that we built that day. He just put mufflers up in them megaphone pipes. Wait for the thunder here. Okay. Maybe to quit thundering. I don't want it to start raining because it's a tin roof. You won't be able to hear me. But anyway, yeah, Ricky's really done a nice job on that truck, and I'm going to put some pictures in here, maybe a little short piece of a video of how he ended up doing it. And that was our whole goal with the rat rod build, was to get it into somebody's hands and let them finish it up, let them do it the way they wanted to do it, or change it even if they wanted to change it, as long as something gets done with it and it don't end up like it was sitting for 30 years. Luckily they didn't get crushed. And so build number 4 was the Van Mino, and I bought that really because a buddy of mine needed an engine, for 6-cylinder engine for his rat rod, which is that little sedan delivery rat rod that's out here. So I bought it for that reason. He got the engine, put it in his little rat rod, and it worked out really well. And then I took the transmission and I sold it, and which I probably shouldn't have, 350 turbo. But I really didn't want to sell it, but the guy really needed it, so I let him get it. And then so I had the van left over with a good title, and didn't really have any money in it. And so that's when we decided that we wanted to do an LS swap into it. Buck Gardner, he's a retired state trooper that comes to the build. He actually donated the wrecked truck for the engine, the 5.3 engine, and the automatic transmission, and worked out really well. And we cut it down into a pickup truck, used a 59 Ford windshield frame. And so anyway, that brings us to the winner of it, which was Scott. And Scott won it, but Scott was the only one that said from the beginning, I really don't want another project. So we decided to auction it off, and Mike, the one that usually see wanting to buy everything, because he's pretty serious, he's a dealer up in New York. He drives down every time, but he's got about 600 cars, but he wants to buy most of the rat rods that we build, but he bought it. Now Scott donated half of the money that he sold it for back to Baca, and we didn't tell how much he sold it for. We didn't tell how much he donated back, because it was a private deal between them, really. So but anyway, we gave Baca good money that time, and Mike ended up with the rat rod, and he wanted it, and he has driven the crap out of it. I mean, he's really, I think he's on his 3rd rear tire on the right side on the back, and it needs a POS unit in it too, but he enjoys it. It's still here. He comes down, especially in the winter a lot, he goes to Florida, and he drives the truck, hauls cars, got a 5-car hauler, and he's got dealer tags. So he'll stop by here put his dealer tags on and then drive it to where he needs to go and do whatever, and then, you know, he leaves it here. So it's still here, and I start it up quite often, you know, keep it running, and it fires right up, so it's ready to go. So anyway, that build went really well. That was an enjoyable build, and you know, we've done an LS swap in one day. I mean, I don't know if anybody's done that, and you know, it worked out just fine. So that brings us to, we got International, we got 64, we got 62 Willys, and then we had the Van Mino. So that brings us to the fifth build. Fifth build was Junior's car, and most of you all have probably watched that, and where we sort of took his car and got him back going. And you know, I can say that, you know, that's probably the best thing that the crew, when it comes to all of our builders, that's probably the best thing we've ever done. And I say that because, you know, we actually, whether, you know, anybody wants to admit it or not, we actually changed Junior's life on that. Junior is back to being Junior. You know, we sort of lost Junior there for a while. He wasn't coming out of the house or anything like that, and I don't know what it was about this build, but you know, sometimes you think somebody's got a lot of physical problems, but sometimes their physical problems are there, which he's got, don't get me wrong, but the mental problems and, you know, of you know, giving up, you know, and I hate to say it, but I think Junior just about had given up. And you know, I'm so glad that Junior's back to being Junior. He's got a garden this year. He's got me some green tomatoes ready, and you know, it's just it's great to see Junior back to being who Junior has always been. And since the build, his cancer has come back. He's had chemo again. He's having a lot of problems with kidney stones. They lasered him the other day, and he's having to pass them, and so he's still got all kinds of issues, you know, that he's fighting and stuff. But you know, I don't know that there's anybody any tougher than Junior. So you know, he's a tough one, man. And you know, I don't want to see him lose the will to live, and I'm glad that he's back to being his old self. So anyway, I'm not going to say a whole lot about it, but I mean, I'll put a little bit of video there. Most of y'all know, and you know, Junior, I've known him for, you know, 25 years or more, and my wife's known him since she was, you know, born, and Junior's a good man, so we was absolutely glad to help him out. Okay, that comes to the next build. Bobby, you know, the heavy equipment operator. So here comes the thunder again. So anyway, Bobby wrecked his truck, and you know, we just decided to fix it. So that was this Springs build, and that was a spur of the moment thing. We wanted to get him back going as quick as we could. Just so happened that I had bought them 3 trucks up in Greensboro. I'd done a video on it. 2004 models. They were the same year as his truck, and you know, we got him back rolling, and he's still driving the truck, still working, you know, rolling right along. So, you know, there's not much to say about it either. You know, it was one of them deals that everybody came together to get Bobby back rolling. So that brings us to this build. So build number 7. I wanted to do the 53 Ford mainline, and that was the plan. But I'm still in the process of title. So I bought most of you, or some of you may have seen it, video on it, 75 or 76, I think it's 76. Buick Skyhawk, same as a Monza. So 4-speed car, still has a transmission in it. That was owned by Scott, and one of the rat rod builders, and I bought it from him. And I think what I want to do, and what we're going to do, is we're going to do an LT1 with the 4-speed that's in it. We're going to leave the Saginaw 4-speed. We'll do an LT1, and we'll probably clean the car up some and try to make it look, you know, as much better as we can. I've got a brand new set of tires that I've taken off a car that was wrecked. So we've got the tires covered. We'll probably have to do some brake work on it where it's been sitting. And just little odds and end work. I don't know if we're going to do any body work. It's got a little bit of rust here and there. But we're going to do the LT1 fuel injected. The problems we're going to run into. That's a special oil pan on that engine. And the oil pan I've got for the engine that was in it, you know, it was V8'd, or had a V8 in it. The oil pan I got is not going to fit on this 86 up, you know, one-piece rear seal on that engine. And of course we're going to have to get a later flywheel with a small pattern. Make sure we get a clutch, brush plate, throttle bearing, everything lined up. Engine mounts are iffy, the ones I've got, so I'll probably pick up another set of engine mounts. And let me see, we're going to come up with a radiator and just odds and ends stuff, make sure that we get everything together. And thankfully we got James Turner from Rick Hendrick Chevrolet, or Rick Hendrick. He actually works for Cadillac, but he's an expert on the wiring on all these cars, you know, whether it be a Vortec or, you know, the LT1, LS1, all of them. So Duramax. Luckily he's a Duramax man, because you know, that covers me. But anyway, I'm going to show you a little bit of the video on the car. I don't know if I'm going to video this. I'll probably show you some that I've done from the video last, because I don't want to get out there in the rain. Last camera got wet and ruined. So, but that's the plan. We're going to do that. It's going to be the next one-day hot rod build instead of rat rod build. I've got to remember that myself. But yeah, basically it's a Chevy Monza, but it's a Buick Skyhawk. I mean, that's what it is. And you know, I don't know what we're going to do on the rear, whether we're just going to leave it like it is, or maybe weld spider gears. I don't know. We might be a little dangerous on that little car, but you know, it's going to be a one-day deal, and we're going to give it away to somebody. Somebody's going to win it. It seems like it's always somebody that you know, either says they never win anything or something like that. I don't know what it is, but anyway, that's what we're going to do. And I appreciate everybody watching. I know I hope it didn't bore you to death. And for those of you that hadn't watched the one-day builds, you know, some people might find it boring watching a bunch of people run around like, you know, chickens with their head cut off. But other people, you know, they enjoy it, and they understand, you know, what we're doing and how much work it actually takes, because, you know, we go through the brake systems, everything. You know, we want it, you know, as safe as we can do it anyway, and don't want anybody hurt. And you know, we end up building the drive shafts and everything else, and if you notice that we haven't torn anything up. All the builds we've taken down there, you know, even the 62 Willys where I slipped it into reverse twice going down the road by accident. I was shifting and went too far. Didn't have a lockout on the shifter, and I've done that before. So, all right, appreciate everybody watching, and you know, I'll give you some updates on the hot rod build. Till next time, bye.